Ever since it hit theaters in August 2017, Annabelle Creation has scared the pants off millions of fans, and finally revealed just where that demonic doll from The Conjuring really came from. But if this horror origin story left you with more questions than answers, don't be afraid, we've got everything you need to know about the film's ending and post-credit scenes. Unless you don't want to see spoilers for The Conjuring and both Annabelle films, in which case this is your cue to cover your eyes and hide under the covers until the video is over. The doll is just a vessel. Annabelle might be inherently creepy, but before she became infested by an evil spirit, she was just a very expensive handcrafted doll, and the part where she has a face like something out of a nightmare, an unfortunate coincidence. The origin of Annabelle's evil comes when the Mullins invite the spirit of their deceased daughter to live inside the doll, only to realize that the entity in that porcelain body isn't a human ghost at all, but something ancient, powerful, and extraordinarily evil. With the help of some Catholic priests, Samuel Mullins manages to trap the doll in a closet lined with scripture, and he hopes that'll be the end of it. But while scripture might keep the demon in, it won't keep curious little girls out. Which brings us to this. Annabelle's first jailbreak. To atone for their accidental dealings with the devil, the Mullins generously invite Sister Charlotte and her 6 orphans to come live with them. The house rules are simple: do your chores, be polite, and don't open the evil closet. Yes, that evil closet. Stop! What are you doing? Horror predictably ensues from here, as the free-at-last evil spirit proceeds to terrorize the household, possess Janice, and do away with both Mr. and Mrs. Mullins. Eventually, Sister Charlotte saves the day by trapping both the possessed Janice and the doll in the scripture closet and calling the cops. But when they show up, the only thing in the closet is the doll, and the hole in the wall where Janice presumably blasted through like the Kool-Aid Man and made her escape. Demon for adoption. Now occupying the body of an adorable child and calling itself Annabelle, the demon makes its way to an orphanage and is immediately adopted by the Higgins family, with whom it lives happily ever after. Or at least until 1967, when we see a grown-up Annabelle return home and brutalize her parents, which causes a ruckus that wakes up the neighbors, who are of course the central characters of the first standalone Annabelle movie. Roll credits and mission accomplished. You've just watched a terrifying origin story that enjoys perfect continuity with the rest of the Conjuring universe. Annabelle Explained. You don't have to have seen the first Annabelle to enjoy the Creation origin story. But if you did, Creation answers some important questions about the events from that film. For one, we can safely assume that Annabelle, who was really a possessed Janice, didn't take out her adoptive parents in a cultist attempt to resurrect the Ram. She is the Ram. So when Annabelle/Janice offs her parents, slits her own throat, and bleeds into the doll's eyeball, the demon possessing her moves back into the first vessel it ever occupied, and sets its sight on a new human target. The Ram clearly has a thing for kids, which may explain why it's so drawn to this porcelain body. Where a creepy doll goes, children are sure to follow. The bigger picture. Let's not forget that Annabelle Creation is part of the larger universe of the Conjuring films. And here's where things get interesting, because there's not just one evil entity in this movie. The demon we're calling the Ram was still imprisoned inside the doll in the closet when Janice had her first few brushes with the supernatural, which means there must be another demon in the Mullins house. Which one? We'll give you a hint. If it grabs you like an evil nun and dresses like an evil nun, and pushes little wheelchair-bound children into barns like an evil nun, it's probably an evil freaking nun, also known as Valak, the demonic entity whose sister act will headline the next film in the franchise. It's not clear yet whether the nun is specifically connected to the Ram that possesses the Annabelle doll, or whether she would have showed up to help any evil spirit that had gotten herself trapped in a closet. But with a creepy post-credit scene in Creation that acts as a teaser for the Nun's standalone film, we can be sure that in the tangled web of the Conjuring universe, everything is connected.
Please, from the start.
Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.